Definitely saw a beaver. Of course, I'm rubbish with cameras, so I'm not catching anything. But I'm gonna hang here for a minute. Literally hanging. So I'm going just over there. So I just camped for the night, and last night I was going up that river, and maybe later on in this video I'll show some clips, but essentially I was doing a bit of wildlife spotting. But what I thought might be nice to do as a creative outlet is just to kind of talk through some of what I've been doing with learning to canoe. So I've had a canoe for slightly less than a year now. Been out, in fact this will be my 26th trip out in the canoe. Just been going out here and there, but I thought I would talk through some of the different aspects of it, how I've been learning. I want to stress, this is not an instructional video because I'm still very much learning. In fact, if you are a more proficient canoeer and you see me doing something stupid that may well result in a wrist injury or something like that, then please do tell me. But I thought I could talk through how I got started, what I've been learning, what I'd like to do, and yeah, just what it's like to be out and about. So, how I got started. I'd had a hankering for a canoe for a while, been out a few times. I'd hired one on the canal and on holiday, and I just kind of fancied it as a hobby. Done lots of climbing and walking before, so used to being outside, different experience and skills and whatnot from reading weather and assessing risk. And like I said, I had a hankering for one for a while, and so I kept an eye on Facebook Marketplace and was able to get this boat. It's a Hoo Canoe Prospector, and basically the guy who was selling it was moving away, and so he sold me the canoe, 2 paddles like this life jacket and a couple of life jackets, and really that was enough to kind of get me started. And getting started, basically all I did was went out and tried it in the canal, which is quite close to where we stay. And then first trip was on Loch Lubnaig and the weather was perfect. Second trip was also in Loch Lubnaig, but the weather was not so great. And so I guess I learned at that point how to kind of manage risk and how to be ready to back off effectively if I'm kind of going too far from my comfort zone. And so what I'm always kind of looking at is what's going to happen if I end up in the water here. What's that going to look like? How am I going to get out of the situation? How am I going to get myself sorted? So always able to swim back to shore, always life preserver and bag with dry clothes, car keys separate. So that's kind of how I got started. And then yeah, that was me getting started. So that was in the summer. And then kind of heading into the autumn and winter, I was able to get out a few more times and wee breaks here and there, but also kind of getting more kit, doing bigger trips and recording that, and just really learning as I go. Watched a lot of instructional videos. Also went out with a guy from our church who's been training to be an instructor, so being able to kind of learn from him and also kind of pick his brains. And yeah, just a lot of researching, and that's kind of how I've learnt, and it's been quite good. But also I've learnt through kind of trial and error, realising maybe I've bitten off more than I can chew, or realising just seeing what other people do. Basically, so that's kind of how I've learnt. So what I enjoy about it is it's quite a relaxed pace. You're not going anywhere fast. But you're able to get loads of kit and gear in the canoe. Been out with my sons. I've been out with friends and family. It's been really good fun. I've learned, and I've kind of got the knack for loading up the canoe. I can do it by myself. It's a bit of a mission, so if you're wanting to learn to canoe, that's something you definitely need to figure out. Am I strong enough, or can I get help with getting it on and off the car? You've kind of got a tall car or people carrier, so you really got to kind of figure out how to do that. But I've got the knack, I can do it. Although what I do find is when I come back from a long trip, longer by my standards trip, often I'm just absolutely shattered, and sometimes I'll ask for help to get onto the roof, but that's what I've been learning. I've also been trying to make the most of figuring out kit. Don't want to go overboard, no pun intended, buying kit, but also I don't want to be underprepared. So a mixture of research, a mixture of birthday presents. Turned 40 in March, so people got me some kit. Got some poles, I got a little trolley, things like that, and also wee bits of kit here and there, like rope, and got a rescue knife, just things like that, and that's kind of what I've been building up on. The other thing that I've done, I would show you a bit away in my barrel, is I've started keeping a handwritten log. It's been really nice. It's something I wish I'd done with my kind of climbing and mountaineering, and so given that it was a new hobby that I was starting, I went back a few weeks back, and for my Strava basically did a little record in a separate notebook. And so I've got in my notebook, such a nerd, but I've got in my notebook every paddle that I've done, a few wee notes, so about a page per paddle, distance, what I saw, what I did. In the back I've also got my kind of kit list, things to pack, so that just helps when I'm getting set to get going, whether it's for a day trip or an overnight. And I've also got in my notebook just a list of the gear that I purchased, and also the things that I've been repairing. So it's just nice to have a little record. And I kind of tallied it up the other day, and I've spent round about £1,000 in terms of buying second-hand kit and new stuff, which all told's actually pretty good for outdoor pursuits. I got a lot of stuff like work with jackets and tents and stuff like that I had already, but £1,000, it's not that bad. And also my thought with getting a second-hand canoe is that if it turned out to be a bit of a white elephant and I never used it, I would just punt it again. And they seem to sell quite quickly. It has actually took me a few attempts to get one, so that's been my experience. So I'm going to put this into video. Much like my canoe skills, my video editing is very limited, but I know I've enjoyed watching other people's videos about canoeing, and so I thought I would add my voice to the internet. So this is me on Loch Lubnaig. I'm going to try and intersperse this with some photos. I've got the skills, with some clips, and I will share some of the stuff that I saw last night. Went up a river and managed to see a beaver, which is quite a treat. So that's me, amateur videographer, photographer, very amateur canoeist. We'll see how we get on with my video editing skills. So today I learned the importance of carrying a spare paddle. Just pushing myself off of the bank, and the mud kept hold of my paddle. Thankfully I'm actually drifting back towards it, but I do have a spare. There you go. Listen. So I'm pretty sure that's where Mr. and Mrs. Beaver stay. Record that for my son, with whom I've read the Narnia books. Definitely saw it. Definitely saw it. I think I maybe caught it on film, but hey, you know what a beaver looks like. But I might come back tomorrow. The light's starting to fade, so here's my camp for the night. I've landed there, dragged the boat up on the wheels. Nice little fire, well away from any consumables. Slept there Got my air mat, which was great. Kind of shingly stuff, but it's actually surprisingly comfy. Breakfast was porridge, and I'm going to get ready to head off. Can't believe this is Scotland. Here I am, in the water. There's my boat. I paddled 5 and a bit kilometres today, and I'm just having a refreshing duke. Paddle back. The wind behind me. There we go. Going to go again.